feeling like, oh, well, they always do whatever they want to anyway. I'm just trying to paraphrase something that might be heard from time to time. It's part of my experience to focus on the general fund, and once again, I think that that's going to take enormous work on council and the key staffers' parts. If the targets that were developed in about February account for $600,000 or so, here's the bad news: that's not nearly enough. And the staffers know that, and I think the council knows that, and mayor, of course. That's not nearly enough, in my opinion. I wanted to comment that, particularly in the public works area, I had more contact with deeper into the organization than in some of the other areas, and I was pleased for what I saw. General recommendation is to provide folks with the stability, focus, direction, and support that'll help them succeed. They really want to succeed. And maybe this is a good place, before going to subject areas and departmental observations, to just pause and ask if so far there are any clarifying questions. One of my hopes is that there will be few surprises in this plan. There is an inscrutable silence. Should I keep going?
You're on.
Ready to keep going? Okay. Once again, the finance and budget area is the highest, in my opinion, area in need of highest attention, highest priority attention, and you are taking steps. You have already taken steps. An example: the audit pointed to the lack of a hotel motel advisory committee, and last year's expenditures of those funds with no, without the right steps being taken. You have appointed a committee. I believe the committee has begun to meet, and that will, in my opinion, not only go a long way to resolve one of the findings, but it'll bring the proper input to the expenditure of those funds. So again, congratulations on acting on things already. The budget imbalance, we've talked a little bit about that already. I think that Mr. Lewis's work is already showing major dividends. Thank you for bringing him on board. And conversationally, I've heard from a number of players how impressed they are with the quality, professionalism, objectivity of his work. And with RJ's help and others, these kinds of reports that will help the department heads and you steer this ship are going to be very helpful. Which is a great segue to the item B, improved reporting. Improved reporting, like this. And then the next part, early actions to balance the budget. Some of this starts to get really very technical. In the fire arena, and I won't go into all the detail of this, there is a good rational nexus which should allow you to move about, Chief, I think it's $70,000 by memory. That amount of money off the general fund properly onto the REIT fund. But to do that, as previously council member mentioned, it has to be recognized in the CFP, has to be, there's all sorts of technical steps that have to be executed correctly. But I saw that and I thought, aha, on $1 million plus general fund problem, this is a chunk. And at this point, I think you have to go after lots of little things and lots of major chunks, both at the same time. A second example, and RJ and city attorney, I'm just tickled about this one. we found a proper way to assure the timely collection of some owed revenues, and we received $116,000 on that. And if memory serves me, we just got the first quarterly, Washougal just got the first quarterly payment of 32 or 36,000. So that's a revenue stream that should help with all of this. The next listing of austerity measures, these are a whole series of possibilities, and I urge and encourage you and your city administrator and mayor to look at all of these as possibilities, and they're fairly time-honored ways, but I thought rather than recite that you have a problem, it would be helpful if the advisor said, and here are some potential ways to address the problem, instead of, gee, you guys have a general fund problem. So do we. Good luck. Longer term, the strategy of diversifying the tax base and growing the economy is certainly in good shape. I believe that although you have elements of a CFP and CIP, a capital plan, that this very evening we again saw a need for a renewed and comprehensive look at that, such that it is not a department by department CFP, and there is some thought, it's certainly not all predictable, but there is some thought across all of the needs how the resources or potential resources are arranged, and then some thought as to, or I should say some more thought as to what are the best possibilities, what are the projects that are most worthy of really spending a lot of time and energy on trying to get the money, and which ones would be nice, but if we are chasing 12 kinds of money all at the same time, we're probably not going to get many of them at all. And without being critical, I think the capital arena needs that further, I'm going to call it comprehensive, cohesive, and comprehensive, cohesive look. It is also long-term, and sorry about this, Mr. Scott, I think that you should lead that. The personnel and compensation policies, we've touched on that before. There are a whole series of things, some of which I think you as council members and you as staffers have discussed in bits and pieces. And my suggestion to you, not next week and probably not next month, is that you look at the whole of your personnel and compensation arena. I want to note that there's a lot of your policies that is a delight to find that they're written down. And as an example, the whistleblower existing policy in January was really, it's very detailed and well constructed. You've added to it, tried to address a couple of things. But in that area, I'd recommend that you perform a comprehensive review of the series of policies and practices. Now let me move fairly quickly to, yeah.
Let me ask Lloyd,